Satnam Yogis and Yoginis, hello and welcome back. Today we continue with the course on number 1, Karam Kriya number 1. And let me adjust the video. We're going to be exploring sound. We did a little bit of this when we were drawing one point in the middle of the screen and we were brainstorming on things which were number 1 and we came up with a few words. And today we're going to explore particularly these sound S and sound T put together, ST, and the effect that it has on the meaning of the word. Now, we have quite a bit on this, exploring the meaning of sounds in the channel. We have a whole course on mantra chanting, and in that course we explored how different sounds are often associated to specific meanings in words. And I was just reviewing one of these books that I love. This book I really enjoy, God's in the Word by Margaret Magnus. You've seen me praise this book a lot. And it was one of these words that was very special when I read it for the first time, the word straight, yeah, STR, the sounds STR, and how that STR sound means straight in a very good number of words from any language, from English, Spanish, Albanian, Greek, Hindi, German, Russian, Norwegian, Indonesian, many languages, different languages with different roots. And when the words contain this STR, many of these words cluster around some meanings, and the meaning of straight is within this wide range of different languages. And that's surprising. The first time I read about this, I was really shocked. I was in awe of how sounds can convey meaning. Now, when we are exploring number 1, this conjunction of S and T comes up again and again. And today I wanted to explore in more depth. I did a little bit of research for this one to go in more detail to show how many of ST words are actually associated to 1 or 1 and 9. It can go in the axis of 1 and 9, but also particularly to the 1. Now, I have to say that doesn't mean that the words from number 1 are only words with ST, obviously not. What I mean is that those words which contain the ST sounds, and especially at the beginning of the word, they are very associated with qualities of number 1. So how about we start giving lots of examples on that? And so today will be an exploration of this S and T. And if we remember some of the qualities of number 1, one of the things was stability. Now, stability is a quality that is number 1 because we can easily see how when there is only one point, there is no movement. It's quite stable, it's static. And stability is something we associate to the first chakra, thinking about yoga. And so we can see how the first chakra is in charge of stability, and the first chakra is number 1, linked to number 1. So let's put a number of words that are linked to stability in some ways. Well, one is a stand. Yeah, to stand up. Stand up. So it contains the ST sound. Let me focus this 1 second. Yeah. Or the stance. Yeah. Or when we say stay there, stay quiet, stay in one point. Don't move from that point, yeah? And therefore also a station. And stationary, yeah, something that has been static, yeah, it's static as well. Something that is stable, what else? Like a statue. And a stature as well. Something that stays stable and static for a long time, it can become stagnant. Some stable food that we eat that is staple. And then more stable things, maybe even unmoving, but we will go into unmovement in one moment, but something like stone or steel. Yeah, we say that that person is like steel in character. You know, there is a steeliness into the character. I don't know if you can say it like that, but it's like very stable person. All right. Now, especially these last two, we can feel there is a certain quality of strength. Even though strength, it already includes the R, and the R is going to change a little bit the ST sound. Because the R sound, so let me first go back to why am I choosing the S and the T? Yeah, the S is the sound of the Kundalini, the S of the snake, and the Kundalini is asleep in the coiled around the first chakra, between the first and the third. And if we look at the T sound, is a sound that creates a certain direction. So it can be like static and not moving, but it can also make a certain direction. When we look at directions with number one, it's generally in a straight line and generally vertical. So that's going to be the S with the T. When you add the R is already the fire, and that's already into the third chakra. So in a way, what we are doing with STR is already going 1, 2, 3. So we are moving in that direction. But in any case, we find a lot of STR sounds also around the qualities of this first chakra, because it's from the first chakra, it's from the stability that we get strength. Yeah, the strength is strength to do something with it, but it's out of that one stable point. If we wanna, let's say, push an object, we need to find stability within us to push an object out. So we need a point of stability, a point of a base where we can push against, so we can push out. Yeah. But yeah, linked to strength, we're going to have this strong strength, something that is stiff. Yeah, something that is like a stern. This is in the character. Somebody's character is a stern, stout, sturdy. They are hard characters, hard like the rock. Yeah, the number one is linked to the rock, to the earth element. So, yeah, hard elements. Okay, and we were talking about the stone, and I said it's stable, almost unmoving, to the point of unmoving. Let's explore those a little bit more. So this is going to be like a list of words, but just to see how many of those words align very well with these qualities of the one. So we have the stone, we have steel, stagnant, static. We already have quite a few of these unmoving, but let's go a little bit more. It's not just stable, but it's actually not moving. When something stalls, yeah, stall, like it cannot move. And that brings me to stopped. Yeah. Now, stop itself, the word is stop, we often associate it to the number 4 because it's like after a movement. Yeah, the number 3 is the fire of the movement, and stop is when we stop and breathe. Yeah, so that stopping is to bring awareness, to bring consciousness, and that's more linked to number 4. But it's connected. 4 and 1 are connected in some way. In this case, it's like stopped, like unmoving. Yeah. But in any case, stopped, we would associate it more with number 4. Let me put it like that so it's more clear. And the same goes with stuck. Stuck is more like 1. I think, because it's like in one point. You're stuck in one point. You cannot get out of that point. I would say stopped is more 4, paralyzed is more 6, stuck is more 1. We could find probably a word of something that is not moving within every number in any case. But yeah, the ST sound makes it unmoving like a rock. we could say it's like 4.1 or 1.4 if you wish. Yeah, like putting the point is like extending the quality of that number. So 1.4 would be within the one number there is a quality of a 4, or 4.1 if you wish. Stifle. This one goes more with the breath, but again, it's like you cannot move from being stifled. Maybe too much weight on top of you, right? You're feeling stifled because there's all these things causing weight on you, and weight is a quality of number 1. Stunned. Again, yeah, we are connecting to the 4, kind of, yeah, 4 and 6. When you are in shock, shock is number 6. Yeah, stun is connected to number 6, but it puts you into the position of the 1, in where you cannot move. You are totally like a stone, like made of stone, yeah, like a statue. So these are qualities of number 1. The stand and moving, thinking when you are left stranded in a desert island by yourself, alone, you cannot move, you cannot go anywhere. That's also kind of the same. And a different quality of unmoving, when we make a statement, this is how it is, and you say it, and that's it. This is my statement, and you don't move from it. You stay still and static. I didn't say still, let's put that still. That's unmoving as well, yeah? You say the word, and you say the statement, and then you stay there. You don't move from there. No, you stay. Okay. Now, some of the statements and some things like this, this can have a certain impact. And again, shock is something that is more towards the 6, but 1 is the hardness of the 1 and the stability of the 1, but it's also like one thing, one event, one accomplishment, one step, something happens, and then it's like, boom, yeah, and it has an impact on you. The impact is connected with the 4 and 6, but let's see the 1 and 9 aspect of it. For example, a stab. Yeah, which is going to connect to a pointy thing, yeah? Sting. Sting operation, or the sting of an animal. And it is like a number 1. It's like a little thorn, yeah? Like a little sting. A strike. And often when sometimes we are talking and we are exploring the 2 and the 3 and ideas and emotions and feelings, and at some point you strike on the ground and you're like, enough. I found I made a decision. Enough, right? Decision is 4 and 6, but the 1 and 9 comes like that. Remember the diagram of 1, 2, 3, 4? So we are caught up in between the 2 and the 3, and then we make the decision, the 4, and the 1 comes there. So it's like, enough, and we hit the table, yeah, enough. So that strike, that's number 1, saying, I'm going to make a statement now, and I'm going to be immovable, yeah? And people around us may get stunned from what we say. Stumped. Stump, yeah? And stump can also be like squishing something little, making it little. So making it into the 1, yeah? Stomp on something. Stamp as well, yeah? Putting my stamp, putting my seal. It's like making my statement. Okay? And generally this, a strike or a stamp or a stab, these things that happen, and suddenly, bam, it happens, and that is the beginning of something else. So remember that number 1 is the number of beginnings. That's quite easy. Let's explore. Is the start. Quite obvious. It's every one of the steps. It's like bum, 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 bum. Yeah, stepping. It's like one step, one step, one step. Movement itself begins with a 2 and is very connected to the numbers afterwards, because 3 is fire. The fire also helps to create movement. And 6 is air. Air moves in many, many directions. 1 is more stable and unmoving. But in relationship to movement, 1 is every one of the steps. One step, one step, one step more. Yeah. Every step is one stage. Yeah. Or one state. Yeah, another state, another state. In a poem, they are like the stanzas. And every one step and every start is the beginning for something else. It can stimulate something that comes afterwards. It's like the beginning, the origin, the stimulation, like the trigger for something else that's going to come afterwards. Yeah, it's like stirring the pot. Everything was still and steady and static, and now something starts, and now it's like stirring the things that were asleep, and it's going to start something else. All right? Now, the opposite of beginning is like time starts. There's the opposite is like when time doesn't move. And that is, remember that one of the qualities of number 1 was the seed, and the seed stays like that for a long time. So kind of like preservation. Let's say preserve. We're saying you can store a seed for hundreds of years, and then given the right climate, the right temperature and humidity and environment, then you add some water, into fertile land, you add some water, and then it can begin. Life can start, yeah? But you can store it for a very long time, or you can stock it, yeah? Or stash it. I didn't find any more. I just found these 3. If you find more, let me know in the chat. Okay, you can write in the chat, and I will keep adding them, and or in the comments of the video. I love doing this, finding sounds and how they connect to each other. I think it reveals a lot about language. Okay, something connected to the impact are, if you remember, like the stab, these are pointed objects. Pointing, or it can be pointed objects. I said the stabbing. Well, the object can be like a stick, stake, to kill the vampire. Yeah. To kill the stranger. Yeah, the stake for the stranger. The empire is the stranger in us. That's actually more like the 9. The 9 is the mystery. The ST is also there. ST, mystery. It's not in the beginning, but there is mysterious, alien, weird, strange. Those are number 9. So you see how they are very connected to the 1 and the 9. And the monsters that hide. Yeah, the shadow and light, life and death. This is connected to 2 and 8. It's polarity. But even beyond this polarity, there is some horrors, hiding in the darkness, and that's going even to the 1 and 9, and 9 can be the monsters, stirs. You see, monsters? But that's more into the 9, so I'm not going to write it here, but it's interesting that we use a stake on the monster. In 9, the number 9, we say the number of the monster or the master. It's interesting, master, ST as well. Huh? So we could probably do the same, connection with the 1 and the 9 and the ST sounds. But we are in the 1, so let's not run ahead. It's not really like a stick. It's not really. I mean, this is not for a stabbing, but also like a weapon, a staff, and it's a pointed object, like like one straight line. Remember that we said number 1 is like a straight line. And stiletto, double T here to make it even more sharp. Stylus, pointed object. And then, you can use a pointed object to point to something. Do you see here? Do you see over there? So the pointed objects actually mark a direction, and they always point one direction. So that's number 1. That's why the number 1 sense, physically, that's the sense of smell, is connected to the sense of direction. It's like guiding yourself by the sense of smell. So it's connected to the 1, connected to the nose. The nose has like an arrow which points to one place, and that's your sense of direction. Sometimes we talk about how the 5 senses can connect to other subtle senses, like, the sense of humor, right? But concretely, the sense of smell can be connected to the sense of direction. So direction is kind of pointing towards an objective. So the where you are is the 1, and the objective would be the 9. So you're going from the 1 to the 9, and the ST sound is kind of drawing the line towards the 9, and it's actually going to be STR, because it's going to go with the movement of the R to get there. But yeah, the objective would be more like the 9, but yeah, it contains these pointing qualities, yeah? It can steer you. Yeah, steer. So it's like you are holding the stick, like the old boats, you hold the stick, that is the rudder, yeah, to steer the boat to, go north. And you find the north by the North Star. Right? And this is more, the actual steering itself is done by the master. And that's going to go into the 9, yeah? But let me just put here, master. Remember, master and monster would be the number 9. I'll just put it like this so we don't forget. But yeah, master, monster, the maestro as well. In a concert, in a musical concert, the orchestra, orchestra is driven by the maestro as well, and a magistrate as well. Let me add it. Yeah, STR, you see? And the magistrate is the one that gives the laws. The laws are the 9. The 1 is all of us who are submitted to the laws. Yeah, the law is above you, and you are on the 1. The 9 is the dictator, and the 1 is the prisoner. Yeah, you are. How do you say that? Slave, like a slave. 9 is the dictator, and 1 is the slave. So you have to follow those laws. So magistrate is the one who is gonna also set up these laws. But again, this is all going into the 9. I didn't want to go too much into the 9, but it's good that we see that how they are connected. Okay, these pointed objects, and also often something that is small, narrow, or slender, something like that. It can be like a passage. But something small and narrow, like the stem of a plant, or like a straw, and a strand of hair. So we see they are thin things. They are very thin, narrow, straight, like number 1, and very small hole, very small opening. Yeah, it's connected to the 1. String, and it's going to connect the string from the origin to the destiny, from the 1 to the 9. Stripe. Now when we are adding the R, you see in these ones we are already adding the R. Remember, yeah, STR, and that means like a flat surface that is often in a straight line. Stripe, streak. Strip. strap, stream, stripe. Oh yeah, I already have stripe. Stretch. Okay. Stretch. Something like that. So there's like a straight line and it's a narrow line and it's generally small and it shows where you have to go through. And it sometimes even obstructs the passage. Obstruct, yeah? It's like the movement through the small narrow passage is challenging. Challenging movement, yeah? This is like already the straw, we could see that, yeah? But there is a certain struggle to go through. The struggle can make us, have to call upon the most basic animal impulses, yeah? Struggle, strangle. You can see the knuckles, yeah? You want to put into fists and hold on. There is it kind of, you can see how it can connect you very easily to the fire of the three, and the struggle can put you into the aggressiveness to try to get through, or it can bring a lot of the fire with it as well. But this is like the you have to connect with the monster in you sometimes to get through that. I wrote a strangle with a U. No, that should be an A. Strangle. Yeah. There is some obstruction, yeah? Obstruct. Okay, now I'm going, it's not starting with STR, but you can see how this is just a prefix, obstruct. But you can see like restrict, or construct, even constrict could also be, yeah. Construct is something else. Construct would also go already into the fire. But again, the moment we add the R, and there is this fiery quality, so very quickly these ones are kind of one, but it can go easily into the three. For example, obstruct, it's an obstacle, and it becomes like an unmovable object that is like very solid, and that's like the rock in the middle of the path. But also the fact that you have to go through that, it may call upon the fire to break free through that. Constrict, restrict. To have to go through this is there's restraint. To go through the straw or the strip. And if you cannot do this, that the consequence is going to be you're going to frustrate yourself. Frustration, yeah? It's another STR, but again, this is already going into the 9. So this is the consequence that is going to cause. But yeah, look at all this. How many words are that? And you can see there's probably more words that connect with this. This is just at the beginning, and actually found many more words with the STR, but I didn't want to start confusing too much. I think that it's already enough to see that the very same sound, especially at the beginning of the word, ST, you can cluster many of these words around these qualities, and all of these qualities are very associated to number 1. So how very interesting. I've never done this research in much more detail. I would love to do this more with other numbers as well, and hopefully we will do this more in the channel with when we go into other numbers. But this was like a little sample to see how we can explore sound connected to meaning through the numbers. And I hope it was interesting for you. That was it. A little bit shorter video today, but hopefully it was very precise and interesting enough for you to continue next week. Next week I'm traveling, and the other one probably too as well. So again, I don't know when I will be making the next video on number 1. I will post a conversation I recorded with Shiv Singh probably next week. I have to edit it still. But I don't know when I will be posting videos. Maybe I will be doing more live videos. But anyway, we continue on. And thank you for being here. Take care. Until next time. Sanam.